A Northern Michigan nonprofit is getting a financial boost for its programs helping the young and older residents in the community. The Northwest Michigan Community Action Agency received a check today for nearly $36,000 from the 15th annual Share the Love fundraiser. It's been almost a year since Camp Grayling expansion was initially pitched by the National Guard. Those on both sides of the issue are still waiting for a decision, with few answers or expectations to when that will happen. While so many are left waiting, a Northern Michigan lawmaker says he is not done fighting.
This is reporter Nicole Long. Nicole, you are an Arizona native, so you have seen this plant that's on the screen behind us in your own backyard before. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, that's true. Arizona is going through kind of a super bloom right now because of all the rain. But this flower particularly, it looks like a bright yellow globe, but it's actually not even native to Arizona. It comes from South Africa. And no one really knows how it got there, but most dealing with it want it gone. Alexis Dominguez has more. Maya, there are 7 crews from area fire departments here trying to fight this current fire. It all began just around 4 o'clock this afternoon. Mark, the news came earlier this afternoon from a letter to supporters from the film festival's founder and president, Michael Moore. The film festival was founded in 2005 by Moore, local author Doug Stanton, and Traverse City photographer John Williams. Maya, in speaking with both sides of this issue, one thing is clear about how people feel about the DNR's decision. It doesn't exactly meet what either side wanted. Yeah, you guys, taking a look behind me, you can see where the thieves were able to break this window on the north side of Wexford Jewelers in order to get into the store. Wexford Jewelers is located on the corner of Mitchell and River Streets. It's a sweet story that's been trickled down a family tree. In 1963, the Meyer family moved to Frederick, where their 100-acre property happened to have a maple tree. Josh, over the last year, the hospital has been working to improve and expand its emergency room that hasn't been updated since 1991. On top of adding more safety, isolation, and decontamination rooms, the emergency room has new open layout, which will help with the workflow and foot traffic of the 14,000 patients the hospital sees every year. Another renovation the hospital had to make was up-to-date safety improvements as the number of patients continues to grow.
This was an opportunity for us to completely rehaul that system and make sure we were to current standards. Safety is always important, and I know there are issues that happen within the country. We wanted to make sure we had the ability to fully lock down our ER, which we have the ability to do that now.
As the emergency room staff and patients prepare to move down to the renovated space, hospital staff tell me they're not sure what to do with the third floor space yet. But the new emergency room will be fully operational by Wednesday morning.
It's time to get into the holiday season, and what better way to start than giving back to the community? Up North Live's Nicole Long is live in Benzie County, where Christmas trees are being auctioned off this weekend. And Nicole, it looks like there's somebody behind you that's already interested in buying that tree.
Yeah, Allie, I am so excited to show this tree behind me. The theme is the Grinch Who Stole Christmas. As you can see, he's actually trying to take it right now. And this is just one of the many trees you can see here at the Benzie Area Historical Museum and Pavilions for the Festival of Trees. Yeah, Maya, Jolene was first discovered laying in a field in Kentucky, and from there she stood in a Cleveland, Ohio backyard, and then later traveled to a pole barn in Michigan before she ultimately staked her claim outside of Olean's Dispensary in Northport.
One day we just decided that maybe it would be really great to put her up right here in Northport.
For the past year and a half, Jolene can be seen off of M22 as people travel up Leelanau County. Her 20-foot tall figure usually sports a bright red t-shirt and a blue miniskirt, up until recently.
We really like the idea of sort of heralding in the season and having Jolene's bikini on for summer and then putting a new outfit on every fall.
Except when Olean's staff took off her clothes, they were left with a surprise as to what was underneath.
What was underneath wasn't refinished, and so she was kind of a time capsule. The finish from the 1960s is still underneath her outfit that was redone in early 2000s.
So for now, Jolene in her bikini will stand outside of Olean's, sporting something like a farmer's tan until they can get her refinished. As for when it starts to get colder out,
the idea was every season we would just put a new vinyl wrap over her outfit and sort of surprise everyone with a new outfit every fall. Maybe do the same thing for spring, but we were a little surprised of what was underneath.
If you're looking to see Jolene for yourself, you can find her just past Northport outside of Olean's Dispensary. Glen Haven is showcasing its history with buildings like the cannery and blacksmith shop, showing what it was like way back when. And now they're working on the Sleeping Bear Inn to do the exact same.
It's going to bring life back to Glen Haven. And I think more importantly, it's going to show success of this unique way of historic preservation, of a public partner interaction to make sure that these stories that we are around have the opportunity to be told.
Bear signed a 40-year lease with Sleeping Bear Dunes National Park to bring this historic inn back to life. Originally built in the 1800s, the inn has been through decades of wear and tear.
As you start on a renovation project, you have no idea what you're going to run into when you start taking down the plaster. There's a lot of unexpected work that you get into.
Well, it's been wonderful. Every day is progress. Every day is moving forward. And we've been really fortunate that the community has come out to support us.
Through almost a year of hard work, volunteers have brought the inn back to its bare bones. And the community is right there beside them, giving them pieces of history to incorporate into the build.
I am thrilled because I meet a new volunteer every time, and I hear a new story of a gift that came in the mail, a connection to the 1920s working in the kitchen, and volunteers just giving their blood, sweat, and tears to an idea that's bigger than all of us.
This is the first of many projects both Bear and the park hopes will reawaken the Sleeping Bear shore.
Success with Bear and with the Sleeping Bear Inn will lead to another, hopefully, half dozen similar projects within the lakeshore in the years to come.
One of the most common questions that we get is, what is that building that's on the corner up there? And is it ever going to be open as an inn? And now, I mean, back in the day, the answer was, I have no idea if it'll ever be open again. It's been closed for 50 years, and who knows? Now I can say, yes, it's going to be open, and you'll be able to stay there.
Mark, the first is a more than $6 million reoccurring bond for 7 years, and the other is an operational millage, which is also a renewal.
Schools are required to have an operational millage in order to keep their doors open, and that's typically the primary source of revenue for any school.
This millage is only levied on non-homestead properties like businesses and second homes, and funds more than half of the school's $7 million budget.
It's for operations. Those things pay for teachers and materials and programming. So if you want to raise funds in another way, you really only have two mechanisms as a school. One is bonding, and then the other is a sinking fund.
There's also a recurring technology and transportation bond that voters will have to approve.
It's necessary because if a school, for example, wants to buy a school bus and they don't have a bond, it has to come out of your operational funds. And the other, like I mentioned, was technology. So our one-to-one computing devices for our students or for our staff come from that technology bond. And we know, especially just having come out of COVID, how necessary it is that our kids have high quality, efficient, and modern technology in order to perform in schools.
Neither the bond proposals nor the millage will raise taxes for voters.
So the thing for us too in Leland is that we manage our debt levy in such a way that ideally homeowners never see an increase in their taxes. So that as old bond debt depreciates and goes off of our schedule, we then bring the new bond back in at the same levels so that ideally our taxpayers don't see an increase in their taxes.
If approved, the technology and transportation bond will continue to cost voters $45 per year for every $100,000 of taxable value of a home. Live in the newsroom, Nicole Long, Up North Live News.